Hey guys, Crew Bond, we're back. I'm Rick.
I'm Maggie.
And we're back with Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Last time on...
we met Jerry bots.
Yes, we did.
Learned a little bit more about the world, how humans are still, humanizing things that look like humans. A little bit extra.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of stuff that's been in sci-fi for a long time. We watched Blade Runner 2049 on the channel recently.
Oh, yeah?
Dealt with some of those issues as well.
Did it stay in the vein of Blade Runner? I haven't seen it.
It's quite good.
Okay.
It's quite good. But yeah, that one was resolved, as they all have been so far. I don't feel like there's been any, threads of ongoing threats or masterminds or anything like that quite yet.
No, it's just pretty much been the hacker of the week.
Yeah, but it's been really good stuff so far. I've really enjoyed it. So let's get to the next one. Well, we got a two-parter,
Yeah, at least.
I think.
Super Class A.
It even had Edward's little smiley face emoticon looking thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Edward though.
Genomics. Gosh.
Yeah, I don't know
Is he really bad guy or good guy? I can't really tell when
the laughing man.
the good guys are such jerks.
Yeah, I don't know. It
And
seems almost like a Snowden thing, Like this is way before any of that, but
Yeah.
uncovering this surveillance operation that was taking place. My guess is that the corporation was working with the chief in order to implant these interceptors into all the detectives so they could keep an eye and mislead the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But the investigation was to find the laughing man, right? Wasn't that its primary initiative?
I think so.
I doubt its initiative was to find and investigate the things that the corporations were being blackmailed about.
Yeah.
But maybe it was.
He'd apparently been keeping tabs on all of this.
Who?
The Laughing Man. Up to this point. He's been content, sit in the back and...
Well, they said that, super class A hacker, but then his skills, fell off and he started getting sloppy and then he just stopped altogether. But yeah, it seemed like he just, he put all this stuff out there, nothing changed, and he was just done with it all.
Yeah. The world did not change instantly the way I thought it would.
Tell the truth or I'm gonna hack your brains and kill y'all.
Yeah, he's no longer relying on, the everyday people to be pissed off, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the everyday people. It's the people who make the regulations and hold the corporations accountable, but they did not do shit. I find that very believable.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems very believable.
And scary.
Yeah.
It's... I wonder when...
when did this come out? 1980, 1990?
Well, I wonder when the manga came out. Because this came out, early 2000s.
Okay. Because, I've watched and read early sci-fi where their perception of what the future was going to be. You could see where, the signs they had seen, they thought the future would go in just slightly different direction, dirigibles, say,
Yeah.
instead of planes. But, just as a very generalization. But this seems pretty doggone on par for, the world and
Yeah,
kind of semi-messed up it can be.
Because I don't think this is a story... I don't think this is directly from the manga. I want to say the manga was in the 80s. First serialized from 1989 to 1991. Set in the mid-21st century.
Well, they got that right.
But yeah, it's interesting stuff because, we deal with privacy issues now. Of what, how companies are watching you and what they're doing with your data and stuff like that. And that's a big deal. And the idea that eventually this stuff could be in your bodies, and like what's going to happen with that data then?
Further manipulation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's issues with manipulation in bodies already, but
I mean, even before you get that far, like we have our phones all the time. There's pictures and videos on it, and that's getting backed up in the cloud. And like who controls the cloud?
Do you remember the huge blow up that happened when like Google Glass had those glasses that could like record everything that you're seeing and such?
I remember them.
And how people were just like so freaked out because you'd be wearing that all the time.
I don't remember people being freaked out about it, but I do remember the Google Glass experiment.
Maybe you weren't hanging around with enough with a certain type of people that get very paranoid with like the idea of the government watching them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the studio, there's cameras everywhere all the time. Like, there's webcams on the computers, and like those can easily be hacked into and just watched. Like you should really have covers for them or doors or something. Like the lights are separate from the cameras themselves. So.
Yeah, so the cameras could be on the light.
So yeah, if you know what you're doing, like that's not enough.
No biggie. Yeah, even like security systems and such in houses. Heck, some people don't even like put password on their Wi-Fi. But like,
yeah, I mean, and there's Ring cameras and stuff now that people are using.
Yeah, and there's been like little pen cams forever.
And I wonder, like in England, there's CTV cameras everywhere, but that's all, like none of that's, I don't think, in the cloud yet, but maybe it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I just know that there's never been really an issue with getting a small camera. It's getting a long enough lasting power source. So like the fact that there's like, last 3 months or something, I'm like, yeah, that's okay. The fact that it was like back in the brain was a little worrisome.
Well, yeah, the fact that, there are cybernetics, then that means either the batteries must be very efficient or it's able to pull power from the body's like natural
reactor sort of thing.
Like it's able to use the energies derived from burning calories or something like that. Almost on the side of the laughing guy. I mean, it seems like he's only really exposed things. This is the first time he's like threatened to hurt anyone.
Well, he held the one guy, we don't know how he held them for blackmail and stuff, or what did they exactly call it? They didn't call it blackmail, was it?
They did call it blackmail.
Because I thought they said he held something for ransom. The leader.
Yeah, held them ransom for like 6 years or something.
Oh, 6 years ago. I'm not. I can't remember exactly, but we don't know exactly what. Like hacking into that one guy's brain looked pretty rough. Like.
Well, yeah, that's got to be. Like, I wonder.
That's probably super dangerous.
I mean, that has to be a new law that doesn't exist now. But what would that be equivalent like? Like, would that be? Would you get the same sort of sentence? I mean, it would have to be more of a sentence than you would get from hacking into someone's computer, because you're hacking into their body.
Yeah.
So is it more like
kidnapping?
Is it more like a rape?
Yeah.
Than a hack, or even a kidnapping? I don't know. I guess it depends on what you would do with them once they were hacked, maybe?
Yeah. But then that...
It would certainly... I feel like it would be assault.
Yeah. There's another form of, like... It's not just, physical, what you say, what you do physically. There's also suddenly now hacking, which seems to be a lot more intimate than either of those. Like, that I'm just imagining someone else basically being able to control your body and such, and just being a passenger. That'd be nasty. I
mean, that's nasty, but even in the beginning, like, just imagine your eyes going black.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying. So I don't think the laughing guy, like, he seems too much like an idealist, but also one that thinks the ends justify the means.
Yeah, I mean, just...
So he sounds a little dangerous.
It certainly does sound dangerous. I thought it was interesting too, like, he hacked the person, but he also hacked all the newscasts too. Like, put his icon over top of his face and everything. And I think he even hacked the guy sitting next to him and he was seeing the face too.
Yeah, that's when it blinked over, I was like, oh crap, like it's spread.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's like you think like, oh, like if I had like enough of those cybernetic things, like I'd want firewalls and just like having a closed system, like sandboxy sort of situation.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of it is, but then he's just that good of a hacker.
Or the longer stuff goes on, it's like, yeah, it's like now I have my phone, and
well, that's the thing of like,
it's a slow slide into
people will let their privacy go for convenience.
Yeah.
Sake, so like if it comes to the point where, well, I can, if I have to go into the clinic to get all this updated, or I can just allow them to access it remotely, and then
while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, then they can just do it while I'm sleeping. Yeah. So I don't have to spend a whole day.
Then I'll be able to log in by just walking by rather than having to type out a 15 character password like every single day. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay, now I can see it. I'll run the risk of being kidnapped in my own body.
And we got to see Togasub work pretty much solo doing the investigation. Met one of like his former partners or co-workers.
At least someone that knew him, that knew he was out of the current loop, so he wouldn't have been.
And he's the perfect guy to go against a hacker with no cybernetics.
That's why they have him.
So he's got a pretty big advantage.
I don't understand, why are you guys all upset? It's like he's just talking.
Yeah, another really good episode. It looks like this one's gonna continue on.
Yeah, the common strain, if anything, is kind of corporations versus the common man or something like that. It's definitely like,
there's definitely been a bit of that, of like class differences. Mm-hmm. Being above the law.
Yeah, a lot of that.
But not above Section 9. They'll come for you no matter what.
But then who's watching Section 9? Like, you always love it when like someone is able to step in when the cops are dirty. But like, who the heck's watching them?
Us. If you want to watch us, watch more of this show, you can right now over at patreon.com/blindwave, where you can see the next 4 reactions right now. You can also watch along with us. Full link there as well. You'll need a copy of your own footage. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss any videos that come out. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.